The second happiest country in the world, according to the United Nations World Happiness Report, seems to be having a moment. The Scandinavian country's reputation for pristine, untouched landscapes is drawing discerning travellers from all over the globe, and the popularity of the Disney movie Frozen is motivating fans to visit the country that inspired the animated movie setting. Apparently, bookings increased by around 40%. From our team's various visits, this is our collective choice for the best and most beautiful places to visit in Norway. Number 10. Jotunheimen National Park. Boasting the largest concentration of mountains higher than 2,000 meters in Northern Europe, the centrally located Jotunheimen National Park is one of the most popular national parks to travel to in Norway. Encompassing several mountain ranges, including Norway's 29 highest peaks. The park attracts hikers, cross-country and alpine skiers, cyclists and climbers from all over Europe. As well as unique flora and fauna, expect to catch a glimpse of the wildlife that calls the park home, including reindeer, fox, marten, mink, wolverine lynx, and even the rare golden eagle. Number 9. Frederickstad. There are 3 fortress towns in Norway, but this one claims to be one of the best preserved old towns in Scandinavia and one of the prettiest to visit. The old town has a mix of traditional stores and antique shops, all framed within the extraordinary fortress walls. Just outside the fortress, you'll find a picture postcard village with cobbled streets, a cathedral that contains stained glass work by Emanuel Vigeland, and a steeple that also doubles as a lighthouse. Number 8. Skudeneshavn. Norway's best preserved sailing ship town is located on the southernmost tip of the traditional island of Karmøy in Norway. A thriving port since the 19th century, today it's a postcard pretty place to explore in Norway with bags of scenic charm. Head for the lovely old town, which is filled with wooden houses, twisting narrow roads with almost no traffic, and boat moorings with cafes, shops and galleries along the way. Expect to see more than 200 white wooden buildings that have been lovingly restored and maintained by their owners. Number 7. Flam. The impossibly pretty village of Flam is located in the fjords of southwestern Norway, one of the best regions to explore in Norway. Home to museums that truly showcase and highlight the history of this city. As a visitor, you'll be able to go on an explorative journey with the Flam Railway, which will show you the city in a way that walking through it just can't. Flam Railway runs through one of the wildest landscapes in the whole of Norway and has been called the best train journey in the world to take. Once you're finished, you may want to take a quick trip over to the Flam Railway Museum, or even head a little way over to Stegestein, the viewing platform over Arlands Fjord, which stretches 30 meters across the land. Number 6. Oslo. Even Norway's capital is beautiful, and it's an increasingly popular place to visit in this country. Yes, it's expensive, and yes, it hasn't got a long list of world-famous attractions, but Oslo is clean, laid back, and surrounded by a beautiful fjord and acres of lush woodland. The architecture is an eclectic mix of old and new, and the underrated city boasts some world-class museums, including the National Gallery, which houses Edvard Munch's famous painting of the Scream. While here, check out one of the many cool and unusual hotels in Oslo too. Number 5. Lofoten Islands. This scenic, unspoilt archipelago is one of Europe's best-kept secrets, but one of the important natural gems to explore in Norway. Though the collection of islands lies within the Arctic Circle, they are blessed with warmer temperatures due to the Gulf Stream. It's a beautifully traditional place where life is simple and tourism is kept to a minimum. This is where whale-watching spectacular walks and scenery await. to crank the romance factor up a gear stay in one of the cozy fishermen's cabins, surrounded by still blue waters and unspoilt mountain landscapes that have to be seen to be believed. Number 4. Bergen. The rainy but beautiful city of Bergen was apparently the inspiration for the fictional in the hit Disney animation, Frozen. The picturesque city is one of the prettiest and best cities to visit in Norway and is peppered with medieval buildings, Norwegian churches, and colourful timber houses. It's a laid-back place with a selection of good museums, quirky independent stores, and al fresco cafes. But its biggest draw is its status as being the gateway to the famous fjords. Number 3. Trolltuna. Trolltuna is definitely one of the picturesque places to discover in Norway. It's an insanely gorgeous location and one of the most spectacular scenic cliffs in Norway. But it's only for the brave, otherwise known as the Troll's Tongue. It was formed during the Ice Age when a glacial water froze a hunk of this mountain and caused it to break off, leaving a thin, protruding ledge that hovers about 2,300 feet above the lake below. If you're up for the challenge, it's only a mere 4-hour trek for a photo opportunity of a lifetime. Just remember to be very careful. Number 2. Alesund. Scattered over a row of islands on the western coast of Norway, Alesund is a thriving fishing town that, following a huge fire in 1904, was rebuilt in a beautifully colourful Art Nouveau style. It's easily one of the most beautiful places to visit in Norway, boasting a vibrant culture, excellent shopping opportunities, and views over the area from Mount Axla. Soak up the town's unique atmosphere before heading out on a guided tour of the fjords. Don't miss the breathtaking Geiranger Fjord for gorgeous photo opportunities. Number 1. The Fjords. This is what Norway is becoming most famous for. The UNESCO-listed fjords are now appearing on many travellers' bucket lists, and with good reason. They are one of the most naturally beautiful and dramatic landscapes in Europe, and are one of the top attractions in the Scandinavian country. The glacial valleys are eerily silent and are surrounded by high mountains and waterfalls that give the area an otherworldly beauty. Sognefjord is the longest, deepest, and most celebrated of the country's waterways, closely followed by Hardangerfjord. Also include a visit to the Jostedalsbreen Glacier, the largest ice sheet in Europe, Nordfjord and Geirangerfjord, perhaps the most scenically impressive of all the fjords. Easily one of the best places to visit in Norway, and somewhere that shouldn't be missed if you visit here.